Hi friends, Luca Storelli is here, and I want to start my retouching workflow with an image, a recent image I shot in studio with an amazing model, Amira, and she's the raw image I shot in studio here on Capture One, and I don't want to touch anything here inside because I think the image is pretty good. So what I need to do is to edit the image on Photoshop, because I want to show you how it's easy to retouch an image using the NBP Retouching Tools by Nino Batista. These are some of my favorite panels that I use most frequently in my workflow, in my retouching workflow. So the first thing I do is running the beauty retouching routine using the FC3, the frequency separation panel, and then at last use the CGP coloring panel, because it's so powerful to use for coloring an image or to change the color of an image. Even if I'm pretty satisfied by the colors, but I think we can change something to make the image more interesting. So the first thing I want to do is to focalize my workflow on the retouching routine. So okay, we are lucky. I don't see too much problems here in the skin. So the first thing is to open the panel, and the only thing I have to do is to click the play button, and boom, we have a group panel where you can see the high, the transition, and the low. I can start immediately from the low panel. So using the healing brush, I start immediately to fix some small problems. I prefer to do it manually, just using this panel, because it's really easy, because I know what I want. So just in a couple of minutes I can get all I need from my images. And so I can show you how it's easy to work with these panels. I'm working on the tone. It's obvious, frequency separation. You can run frequency separation not only for beauty and not only for the human face, but also especially for dresses, to remove the wrinkles of the dresses. It's a thing I do most of the time when I work with some of my fashion clients. And so the panel, it's really easy to use, and it let me get the result I want in few minutes. I'm working quickly, but it's usually as I do, because I spend a lot of time retouching my images, so the things I do are always the same, because what I suggest you to do is to have the same workflow every time you approach to an image, because in this time you can save a lot of time. Okay, we are finishing the first part of our retouching using this panel, and then let me see. I don't need to use the transition, but I can work now with the high. So I can change the tool into the clone brush tool, so I can easily, look at that, remove all the imperfection of the skin, or I can remove, look at that, like in this case, flying hairs. Look, I'm working only on the texture level, not on the tone, and this is amazing. So thanks to the panel, I can do all of this easily. And I love working in this way. I always work in this way. Okay, then we can fix this problem with a generative fill. Look, we can fix also the problems here. So if you like, you can remove also the hair that are disturbing our eyes. This takes time. So I don't want to spend all my time retouching the hair, but it was just to let you see how it's easy to fix a lot of problems. Look at that, before, after, before, after, before, after. So this is the reason why you can use the panel. And here, let me see, yes, okay, hardness 100%, it's perfect. Look at this, working only on the textures, I'm fixing all the problems here with some imperfection in the skin, but the image remains real. This is really, really important. And using a small brush, I can fix all of this in a really easy way. So my work is finished. So we spent a couple of minutes, but we are working in a perfect way, just using this panel. And this is important. So look at that, we can remove the flying hairs also here on the cheekbones or near the mouth. Look at that. Okay, let me see. Yes, okay, now we can fix also this wrinkle. Boom. Yes, okay. If you want, you can. Yes, perfect. Also this, or also this. Look. So we have the total control of the image using the panel. Perfect. Don't you want to see this flying hair? You can remove. Look. Also this. So this is absolutely useful to use. Okay. Now the image is not ready because okay. We have to look at that on the neck also. I don't remember if, yes, maybe we need to work in this part because there are some imperfection under the neck that we can fix. Look at how it's easy. Okay, we reduce the imperfections. Ok. Look at what we did. FC3 frequency separation, group level, before, after. If we see here in the detail also, before, after, especially here on the cheekbone. Look, okay, or in the hairs, under the neck, in this part, and this part also. Also this, we removed. Okay, this is the first step. The second step is to use the dodge and burn. I need to run dodge and burn routine because sometimes when you use frequency separation, you can create some areas with darkened tones. Maybe so I suggest always to use the dodge and burn routine. For do this, you can do in different ways. Commonly, I use an action I made, a dodge and burn action, but you can find a lot of actions on the internet. You can create by yourself. So this is important because, yes, I can see immediately the areas where I have to work to reduce the shadows in this case. So with the brush, I can work quickly because if you know what you have to do, you can work in a perfect way without lose time because you know what you have to do. In this case, I need to reduce the areas with problems in terms of shadows or in terms of transitions between shadows and light. Also in this case, I don't need to erase the shadows, but have to decrease the intensity just to make more gentle the transition between shadows and light. This is what we can do. This is what we need to do with the dodge and burn routine. And this is exactly what I do every time I approach to a new image. So here on the burn, so we are painting the transitions. Let me see. After, before, after. Okay. Before, after. After, let's see here. So now we can add like a sort of three-dimensionality, painting the lights, also here in the body. Or we can reduce just a bit the shadows. Let's see. Okay, before, after. Overlay. Fill will overlay 50% gray because I need to run the global dodge and burn, in this case using the tools, but I need to, with lights, let's do some contouring. What I mean is that I'm painting also the lights, adding a 3D effect. And this is one of the most important things we can do while we retouch our images, because we can make our images three-dimensional, and this is exciting. Oh, I missed to retouch the legs, but it's no problem because look at that, how we can fix the problem here. Let's come back on the alien brush. And so we can reduce, thanks to frequency separation, we can reduce the problem of the skin. And so this is the reason why it's really important to use this panel, because look at how it's really easy to retouch an image and to fix problems like this. Same thing here. Okay. Come back here. So the only thing is that this part can require time to reduce, but we don't need to all the work. We can just reduce a little the problem. But even if you want to fix the problem, look at that. You can spend 5 minutes, but we can get a good result. And this is a game changer because we rebuild completely the skin of the model. I prefer to use a small brush because in this way I can have the control of the results I'm making. Okay. Look, the before and the after. It's amazing. So even if the real image presents, we can fix this problem later. But it's interesting to see that even if we have a problem, a great problem on the real image, on the original image, as retouchers, we know that we can fix perfectly the problem in this way. And this is a great value. So this is the reason why it's so important to use, in my case, the FC3 panel. And the result is absolutely real. No fake, no blur, no anything else. Look at that. Before, after, before, after, before, after. Okay. Okay. So what we can do is to, here, on the touch, let's take the brush, just to give the three-dimensionality here, here, here. Okay, perfect. Oh, remember, we were starting from this, now we get this. At this point, before coloring, what I can do? I don't want to lose time retouching this because I need to work in a vertical way, so the canvas sides these are this is the format, the size format for magazines. Yes. So we can fix, I merge all the layers on top so we can fix very quickly some problems here. I love working with generative fill so we can fix a lot of different problems in a couple of seconds, and it's also, this is a game changer. So here is the result. Okay, perfect. Let's merge the layers on top, merge. Let's fix some plain layers. Now, remove tool for this. Let's see. We can do something here. Okay, same thing again here. Perfect. So now we are ready for coloring. Ah, no. Last thing, we were starting here, but I can drag and drop. Yeah, look at that. Before, after, before, after. It's not finished because we need to work with the shadows now. So I was finishing my job. So the burn tool, we can paint here and the eyebrows, eyelashes. And now we are adding three-dimensionality with the contouring. This part, this part, this part. Same thing here on the hairs. Only painting on the darkest areas. We can fix this. Okay. Merge all the layers on top. We can decide to erase. Okay, perfect. Let's merge the layers. So now we can start to think about the coloring. Let me see, just for curiosity, curves. Okay. No. Yes. We can start from this. Look at what we can do. We open the panel. CGP is the panel I use the most because it's really easy to use and it gives me the best results possible. But before start coloring, I need to fix a problem. I don't like the effect because I see a sort of halo or discoloration here in some areas of the background. So, and I don't like the hair because they are too much perfect. So I prefer the older version of the image. So when you work and you notice that you made some mistakes, you don't need to retouch to start your work from scratch. The only thing you can do is to make visible the older version of your image and apply a mask to your last level. And with the black brush, I can start painting, revealing. It's more natural, even if I can fix this problem in a different way, but I prefer this because it's much real, the image, and I prefer. So maybe now I can so it's more natural before after. We can reduce also the opacity and we can fix again this problem. Perfect. At this point we can merge all the layers on top. So now how we can fix this with a spot healing brush. Yes, it's much better. Okay. Okay, now we can think about coloring, even if here I see again a dark area. So I don't want to lose more time, so merge layers. So here is the CGP panel, and it's really easy because here we have the shadows, the highlight, the midtones, so we can start immediately. For example, we can start changing, look at that, the shadows, changing the output of the image, or maybe if we want to fix immediately these honey tones, maybe you don't like to see these honey tones, here on the global, look at that, we have the possibility to work like exactly in Camera Raw, but the advantage is that you can see on curves what happens, so you immediately look what is happening with our image. Look, so in this way I can change the temperature or I can change the tint. Look at that. So in a couple of seconds the image changes. Amazing. So the perfect mix between the global settings and the two-way settings with midtones, shadows and highlights, or in the details, heights, midtones and shadows, like I'm going to do, is a good way for color our images. So maybe I decided I prefer to see more greenish tones here on the background. Maybe I can change the tint also, and here let's play with the shadows. So The problem is that we have a lot of infinite possibilities, so each time you may have a different solution, but the most important thing is that you can change all the times you want. You can open the groups you want to analyze, to see, and it's really interesting because creativity, it's endless. Look at that. So yes, I prefer, yes. Look how it's easy to get the result you prefer, because also I can go here inside in the detail and I can see the saturation, also the highlights, look, and the luminosity. In this case of the highlights, okay, so I can reduce the highlights, but I can boost the saturation just a little. Same things with the midtones. I can look all the possibilities we have for color our image, and then I decide the range of the highlights, the shadows, and the midtones. And each time I work, you can see here all the changes on the curves. So I can evaluate each different solution until I find the result I prefer. And then I can come back here again to see if the choice I made is good. Look, I can change the tint also, okay? I can increase saturation, the contrast. So I can boost the saturation, 0 on the contrast, look. I can reduce just a bit the contrast. The opacity, this was the before, and this is the after, before, after. So we can literally do what we want. To change an image. And the most important thing is, once you find the final look of your image, yes, you can save the settings as a preset, but the most important thing is also that you can, if you click here, you can copy these settings, take another image, and with the play button you can apply all the style you used to create the colors here to the new image. So you can replicate easily all the settings you did on each different image you are going to open. And this is amazing, especially if you are retouching an editorial where you may have 10 or 15 images that have the same look on each image. So in this way you copy the first color look and you can apply to each different image you are going to open. And this is really, really amazing in my opinion. So this is my workflow that I use each time I work with an image. And the FC3 panel for frequency separation and CGP for coloring are my favorite panels that I use in my retouching workflow. For me, the image is ready, and I can save the image and I send to maybe a magazine, or I can publish on my website or social pages. Also, we have the possibility to choose the intensity from light normal, and heavy. And if you see here on the curves, the histogram changes every time I change the intensity of the settings. So possibilities are endless, and each time you may choose a different color. So at this point the image is ready, and I can start working with another image, maybe applying the settings that I choose for this master image. So that's all for me. I hope you will find interesting all the retouching workflow using these panels. Enjoy working and enjoy retouching. All the best, my friends.